know why my sign is turned back. Oh, you saw what I was talking about when they got my whole name on there? Thing that you did?
CO, Halito, what up, cuz? We live. I can't hear you if you're talking. I see your lips moving. Peace
Can
to
you hear me?
everybody. Now I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now. Peace to everybody in the chat. CO, Halito. I know everybody gonna be celebrating Juneteenth. Everybody's doing it with all the whole month of June. It's all kind of activities, but we will be off next Sunday. We will be off for Juneteenth solidarity. So today we doing our Juneteenth, and I will be passing the talking stick to my cuz. He's gonna talk to y'all, and then later I'll come back and we're gonna do a recap.
Mm-mm.
What do you mean? What?
I thought you said you was gonna play the video.
Oh, I can play it now.
I thought you said you was gonna pass the
I thought
video.
you
I
weren't.
wasn't gonna be
Thought,
talking on
okay,
Juneteenth. You know how I feel about that.
okay. So we in solidarity about it. So as we discussed, you was gonna say what you had to say, and then I was gonna play the video per our
Mm-mm.
decision.
I ain't got nothing to say about Juneteenth.
Oh, you got amnesia now. Okay. All right. Peace to everybody in the chat. We're gonna play a past Juneteenth video, and then one from uh, War Chief John Horse, his great niece. I was gonna play some of that at the very end. Um, so I'm gonna cue up that video, and this is in celebration and solidarity about Juneteenth from the unconquered people. Any last words before I press play? Pa? All right, I'm queuing it up. All right, y'all. Enjoy y'all Juneteenth festivities. I'll be back shortly to see if y'all have any questions or comments, and then go to a part of the interview we did with War Chief John Horse, his great niece, who was the war chief of the Seminoles, the unconquered people. So I'm gonna press play. Y'all enjoy.
Hey, what's happening, cuz? What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much. Peace to you and everybody in the chat. See people coming in a little bit. Tonight's subject is part 2 of Juneteenth and the Unconquered People. What is freedom? Juneteenth, the 4th of July, all that good ish.
There I am.
Yeah, the Dia de los Negros,
About-
the Day of the Negroes, the Muskogos, and the Seminoles. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so what's been going on with you? Just had some
Technical
mechanical
difficulties.
difficulties.
Yes. I let the people know that you was having some technical difficulties, and now you here. We could get started. I
Yeah,
did have some things I wanted to share. I'm
well,
gonna
go
share.
ahead.
All right. Well, you have this. This is, their version right here. This is their version right here. All right. This is their version. This is the historical legacy of Juneteenth. But they don't always tell it from the perspective of the dark-skinned Seminoles and the Muskogos, the free Black people, the unconquered people. What they say Black is a misnomer, but the Negros, the Negro Indians. So this is their version.
Right.
And so
Right.
this right here, it just shows this Mexican village celebrates Juneteenth. I thought this was a good one, but they still include, of course, they include the diaspora, not only the Seminoles, but the diaspora. So this is descendants of slaves. We know that there were Negro Indian slaves and a small percentage of African slaves who escaped across the southern border, observed Texas emancipation holiday with their own unique traditions. And so this is some of the celebration that they do. And you see these melanated indigenous peoples. They call them Afro-Indigenous peoples. They got all these misnomers. Uh, these people are descendants of the Negros, Muskogos, or misnomer Black Seminoles of northern Mexico. They gathered to celebrate Juneteenth in the village of Nacimiento de los Negros. Let me get this window. And so this is just them sharing what happens during their celebration of Juneteenth. They head to Nacimiento to celebrate Juneteenth. It says, okay, in this village, Nacimiento de los Negros in Cajula, Mexico, about 3 hours south of Eagle Pass. Then they just talk about their little, I'm trying to get down to when they talk about it, because they just talk about how they celebrate, basically. It says, this place means the birth of the Blacks, or the birth of the quote unquote misnomer Black Seminoles, the Muskogos. So this is where they came to.
Mm-hmm.
And they celebrate Juneteenth, the holiday commemorating the I cannot say that word today.
Emancipation.
Yes,
Emancipation.
emancipation. I don't know what's going on today,
You're
but I
getting tongue tied.
energy that's going on today. But the emancipation of Texas slaves in 1865 in Nacimiento, where Harrington was born and raised until she was 7, where she has returned nearly every summer, June 19th, for the festival, the reunion known as Dia de los Negros, the Day of the Blacks. And it says, although few Black people remain in northern Mexico, the region was once home to thousands who escaped slavery in the United States. Mexico outlawed slavery in 1829, an underlying factor in Texas' Declaration of Independence 7 years later. In 1836, there were an estimated 5,000 slaves in Texas. A number that ballooned by 1860 to 182,500, more than 30% of the state's population. Freedom lay just across the Rio Grande. Maria Esther Hammock, a doctoral candidate, she estimates that it was 10,000 slaves. Southern Underground Railroad to Mexico. Most of them fled from Texas, but she found evidence of slaves escaping to Mexico as far as North Carolina. The most famous refugee to escape Texas was a slave named Joe, owned by William Baird Travis. Joe was one of the only people spared following the Battle of the Alamo. Hammock has also written about the Mexican man who was married to a Black slave near Victoria. In 1848, they stole 2 horses and rode towards Mexico, but they were intercepted near the La Vaca River by pursuers who hanged the husband and returned the widow to bondage. And so we have the infamous stone plaque that is there, where it says El Nacimiento Tribu Negros, Muskogos, and Seminoles. So I like this marker. It's nice to me. And it just talks about how the slave hunters and the runaways, they escaped to Mexico. And it says, turned back by the Mexican army. The men sacked and burned Piedras Negras before they fled back across the river. The Rangers have a dark history. They were for hire slave catchers. So they had slave catchers. All right. It says the ancestors who settled in Nacimiento were a band of people called the Negros Muskogos in Spanish, or Black Seminoles. You know, they always got to put that on there. Peace, Hensei, Anthony. All right, so they called this place Negros Muskogos in Spanish, or Black Seminoles in English. The group grew from runaway slaves who were given asylum in Spanish Florida and lived among the Seminoles until they were forcibly removed to Oklahoma. With few prospects in Oklahoma, and there were ever-present risk of being kidnapped by slave hunters and sold into bondage, they turned to Mexico. After the Civil War, several Nacimiento Muskogos came back to the United States, where their families in 1870 to serve as Indian scouts in the Army. Y'all see that? It says that these Muskogos, these Black Seminoles, and their families in 1870, they came back, all right? And they served as Indian scouts in the Army. First at Fort Duncan in Eagle Pass, and eventually at Fort Clark in Brackettville. In 1876, though the military ordered them to leave, most returned to Nacimiento, but some remained in Brackettville, where Harrington's grandfathers were born. Both men returned to Nacimiento and married Mexican women. All right. So it also talks about how she would come to visit a town nearby, Musquez, where she remembers other children whispering in Spanish, look at the blacks. And they're talking about dark-skinned Seminoles, all right? Negro Indians. They call them Negros Muskogos. But as the Muskogos continued to marry into other local families or to leave for better opportunities in Texas, they were losing some of their features that helped them stand apart. All right. And now some of them look more Mexican, as they say. I guess because he's going to come back in here. He stepped out for a minute. He's having technical difficulties. All right, so on the morning of Juneteenth, Nacimiento's festivities began with a trail ride through the fields in thorny brushland, still lush from the recent rain. Afterward, several hundred Muskogee descendants gathered under shade trees to barbecue and boil ears of corn over wood fires. The tribe's traditional dishes, like sasuke, a corn-based drink, and a sweet potato bread called tetapun, were apparently saved for another day. So they still celebrated the rich culture of the Negros Muskogos. All right. Children recited songs passed down from their Muskogo ancestors, who sang in English dialect that survives only in the lyrics of the slave era spirituals. Several women wore long polka dotted pioneer dresses they believed to be traditional. Some people dispute this fact. And of course, they're going to be mixed because they're mixed people. So they're going to have some seminal patterns because they were, quote unquote, Negro Seminoles. So they're going to have some seminal patterns in their dress. All right. And then they do, at the end of the day, on Juneteenth, they will have a dance. All right. It's called the Dance of the Blacks. Once Juneteenth festivals were over, a few hundred Muskogos will continue to wake up each morning in the village of Nacimiento. Most of others will be gone again to Texas. So now over here, it talks about what language do the Muskogos speak, right? All right, it says the Muskogee language, also the Muskogee. It is spoken by Muskogee Creek and Seminole people. All right. So you got the Seminoles and the Creeks, all right? These are what makes up these Muskogos peoples. All right, descendants of Negro Seminoles who settled in Mexico. So these are Muskogo peoples. They celebrate Juneteenth. It's celebrating of freedom. Now, the Seminoles were the unconquered people. And then the ones that were enslaved were prisoners of war. So some people choose to take the narrative of slavery versus prisoners of war. All right. Let's look at this. All right. Let's just look at this. Somebody wrote this about Juneteenth. All right. And they got Ward Chief John Horse on here. All right. Shout out to them for doing this. All right. It says, did you know the Muskogo people, descendants of Black Seminoles who settled in Mexico, also celebrate Juneteenth? Today, we celebrate freedom and the journey to equality with our Negro Indian neighbors. In observance, our office will be closed. Okay, so June 19th is Freedom Day. It's a reminder of freedom. Now, the Seminoles are the unconquered people. All right. The Seminoles, you have different tribal nations that are related before they were given the name Seminoles. So you have the Great Yamasee, you have the Miccosukee peoples, and then they birthed forth the Seminoles, which are a mixture of people, mixture with Creek and other tribal nations. And some people did have descendants from the diaspora. All right. A lot of people had indigenous roots in the Americas, whether that's North, Central, and South America. So that was just a little excerpt. Okay, let's look at the Seminole Indian Scouts. All right. Now, all right, the Negros Muskogos. All right, between borders, the story of the Muskogos of El Nacimiento. All right, who are the Muskogos? The Muskogos of El Nacimiento, Cahula, are descendants of Negro Seminoles. Misnomer called African Americans. They are Negro Indians who escaped slavery. They were prisoners of war and joined their ancestors in the Seminole Native Americans in Florida during the 18th and 19th centuries. Their name stems from Muskogee, the spoken language by many Seminole peoples. Today, the Muskogos remain proud, tight-knit Negro indigenous communities in northern Mexico, preserving a unique identity shaped by struggle, migration, and resilience. A journey of escape. All right, so this is from the Seminole Indian Scout Cemetery Association. All right, remember earlier I read that they did become Indian Scouts. So these dark-skinned Negro Indians, Seminoles, they called them Muskogos, became Indian Scouts. Okay, all right, a journey of escape and survival. In the mid-1800s, after facing forced relocation, surveillance, and betrayal by the U.S. government, a group of Negro Seminoles led by freedom fighter, war chief John Horse, fled from Indian Territory to present-day Oklahoma into Mexico. In 1850, they were granted land and protected by the Mexican government in exchange for defending the northern frontier from raiders. By 1852, the Muskogos founded the town El Nacimiento, where they have lived for over 170 years. Their story is one of cross-border survival, negotiating life between the United States and Mexico while preserving their cultural, political autonomy. All right, tradition, foods, and cultural life. The Muskogos maintain a distinct culture that blends African, Seminole, Mexican traditions. All right, Seminole traditions. All right, Cape Yuyi, or spiritual songs sung in Negro Indian call and response style, often during funerals and ceremonies. Traditional foods, dishes like sasque, a hominy porridge, is like corn, pan de campo, and cabrito, which is roasted goat, prepared for holidays and communal feast. Dress and dance. Women often wear handmade calico dresses for special occasions. The traditional dances carry echoes of both African and Native American customs, American Indian customs. All right. Like I said, Seminole, basically Seminole customs, right? Their cultural preservation is largely oral, so they have oral tradition, which is passed down through generations without formal institutions or widespread documentation. So they have a heavy oral tradition. All right, Juneteenth in Mexico, a celebration of freedom. Each year on June 19th, the Muskogos celebrate Dia del Nacimiento, commemorating both their founding and the end of slavery. The celebration parallels Juneteenth in United States, making them one of the only Mexican communities to observe the date. The day includes music, dance, storytelling, food, serving both as cultural revival and an act of resistance against historical erasure. Because they always trying to erase some shit about the dark-skinned indigenous peoples. All right. They always trying to erase some shit. All right. And they're conscious of this, right? It says between two governments, the fight for recognition. For generations, the Muskogos lived in legal and social limbo. Okay. In the US, their ancestors were never granted full rights despite their military contributions as Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. Y'all see that, right? Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. In Mexico, they were long overlooked in both indigenous and Afro-Mexican narratives. It wasn't until 2017 that the Muskogos were formally recognized as Afro-Mexican, right? But they are Seminoles. They are a mixture. Actually, they have Seminole, they have Mexican blood, and they have some diaspora blood. All right. This community was recognized by the Mexican government after decades of community advocacy. Yet challenges remain: limited land rights, underfunded infrastructure, and the threat of cultural loss continue to affect El Nacimiento today. There is a legacy of resilience. The story of the Muskogos is one of cross-cultural resistance, survival, and identity forged at the intersection of enslavement. Some of them were prisoners of war, indigenous alliance, and exile. As descendants of dark-skinned indigenous freedom fighters, the Muskogos offer a living history of what it means to defy borders, political, cultural, and historical. All right. Their community is a testament to the power of heritage, the strength of oral tradition, and the ongoing fight for recognition and dignity on both sides of the border. I'm gonna check on my cuz right quick. Peace to everybody in the chat. How y'all doing? We appreciate y'all tuning in. Cuz was having some technical difficulties. Now he coming on in. Let's see. All right. So the legacy and resilience. I just read that. So these are some of the Muskogos. You see, they're very dark-skinned indigenous people. They have a mixture, and so those are some of the traditions that they did. And this is from the Seminole Indian Scout Cemetery Association. It was on their website, and they do acknowledge the Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. All right, and this is just pictures of the parade that they do. The women doing cooking the food, those cultural dishes that I just named. So this is how they celebrate. That look good right there. This is how they celebrate.
I know, right?
Negros Muskogos. What'd you say, cuz?
I said, I know, right? For some reason, they've been messing with the connection.
Oh yeah. They was messing with it. Yeah. But guess what? We here. They can't stop this shit. All right. So This was I wanted to read that because they highlight the Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. They do recognize that. And even this site right here, it just talks about, this is from the Seminole Nation Museum. All right. This is the Exodus to Mexico. In early November of 1849, Indian chiefs Wildcat and John Horse and their followers began a mass exodus for Mexico in light of a ruling to reestablish slavery among the Seminole tribe. All right. This is talking about their travel to freedom. Freedom. All right. The Muskogos, the dark skinned Negro Indians, traveled separately. So you had the dark skinned Indians and then the other Indians. They traveled separately because it says Wildcat did not want it to appear that he had lured John's followers away. At least two dark-skinned Indians rode with their tribal peoples: John Wood, Wildcat's orderly, and Kitty Johnson, the nurse for Wildcat's son Billy. The party also included 20 to 45 warriors and their families. The other group was primarily made up of War Chief John Horse's kinfolk. All right. The two groups moved south for approximately a month before reuniting in Cow Bayou, Texas, for the winter. Due to the closeness of the Texas Ranger Company, the group was forced to move on well before expected. Their next stop was the Llano River area near Fredericksburg, Texas. They will ultimately make many stops before reaching their final goal of crossing the Rio Grande into Mexico. After a harrowing encounter with a group of soldiers in early July of 1850, the group of Seminoles hastily gathered their belongings and rode towards Mexico. Out of sight of the military camp, these they called them immigrants. Mm. They split into two groups. These were indigenous people, all right. They split into two groups, the families, escorted by a few guards in one and the warriors in the other. As they headed to the Rio Grande, the first party spread out to make a confusing trail while the others kept together to produce clear tracks. So they had some tactics on getting away, right? With luck,
Right.
their pursuers would follow the warriors. Records indicate the groups traveled 2 days before arriving at the Rio Grande, according to one account. The men crossed into near Lehman's Ranch across from Morale in Mexico above Eagle Pass. The women and children reached the river at a ford between Eagle Pass and Del Rio called San Felipe during this time. It was dark and the Rio Grande was high. So the escorts lashed together logs to build crude rafts and to spend all night ferrying the families across the swollen waters. And then they talk about Nacimiento. According to official Mexican documents, the two groups of Seminoles and a group of Kickapoos were permitted to settle in Mexico on July 12th in 1850. On July 24th, 1850, the three groups were given land rights. All right. The Negro Seminoles, the Muskogos, settled in El Moral. Eventually, the Muskogos Seminoles would separate into two groups. War Chief John Horse and his followers relocate to Nacimiento. Although most of the Negro Seminoles would eventually return to the United States and Indian Territory after the Civil War, some remained or returned to Nacimiento, a plot of land still owned by the Negro Seminoles today. So this is from the Seminole Nation Museum. So this is just some history about Juneteenth that we thought that the people should know about, because y'all just basically know the other version of Juneteenth. So it's very important that y'all know this side of Juneteenth. So you have the unconquered, rescuing or being a refuge for prisoners of war that were also Negro Indians. So, cuz, you got any thoughts, anything you want to share?
Yeah. The people already made their independence already before Abraham Lincoln even did an Emancipation Proclamation. That's why I say what I said last week about, you know, blank Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Because the people, they already made their freedom before Abraham Lincoln even came out with the Emancipation Proclamation, which meaning ain't nothing but a public announcement,
Right,
because yeah, that's what he did. He did a public announcement
right,
because
right,
at the same time, when the emancipation was done, their backs was really against the wall, because anytime you have a civil war that's going on, and then you had the Seminole War that was going on before the Civil War even started, right? They have all that going on, but nobody not really looking at that. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So the people been fighting, you know. What most people don't know is that the fight been going on since the 1500s, all the way up to now, and we still fighting.
right,
We are, because you have people that's trying to say that we not who we say we are, we don't exist, and all that.
right.
Then when we show
Bullshit.
them information, they still uh, give pushback, and it's like, wow, but ain't none of y'all from the southeast. Ain't none of y'all from the southeast.
Right. So they can't
You
speak
know,
on something that they don't know about, or that their people didn't experience. So they can't speak on it.
right? And then you got people talk about, oh, you must have been a freeman. The people in them didn't even became known as freemen until they got to Oklahoma.
Right. Right. That reclassification shit, once again, that's what they do.
Right.
Where is
See,
that?
those who were the unconquered, those who was the unconquered never went west of the Mississippi. That's what they feel to realize. Those who was the unconquered didn't go west of the Mississippi. They stayed on the east and steady fought against the United States military.
Right, right. Yeah, and that's where I was talking about. Some of them became
Because
the
how you go, how you
Negro
how you gonna
Indian
say
Scouts. Yeah,
how you gonna say that you unconquered and they put you on the boat from Florida, brought you up the Mississippi River through the Gulf to bring you to Oklahoma? If you was unconquered, that would never had happened. Y'all would never got on the boat. You
right,
see,
right,
but nobody don't want to talk about that.
right, right.
Those that went to Oklahoma, I don't see how they. I don't consider them as being, and I say it. I don't see them as being the unconquered, because if you was the unconquered, y'all would have been fighting on that riverboat. And I mean, it's just that.
Right, right, right.
Those
Exactly.
that didn't get on that boat, that's the unconquered. That's the ones when
Right. The ones that didn't get on the boat.
yeah, the ones that didn't get on the boat, that's the ones that's the unconquered. Now prove
Right.
me wrong. I'll wait.
Right.
I'll wait.
Exactly. I mean, they can't. They cannot.
Because they got one dude talking about, oh, my people are the Black Seminoles. Wow. 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 That's what they are. That's what you're saying, right? That's what you're saying. But
Yeah.
yet, when it was in La Florida, they was known as what? Escaluse.
Oh,
They were
wow,
known as Escaluse.
right. Yes. And we can pull
But
that
hey,
up
who am
too.
I though?
Right. You right. So at the end of the day, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So we ain't even gonna give them no platform here because this is Southeastern Talking Stick Podcast. And here's a book recommendation: The Unconquered People, Florida Seminole and Miccosukee Indians, Native Peoples, Cultures, and Places of the Southeastern United States. So y'all can check out this
Right.
book.
Yeah, that's the unconquered, right? In the southeast. The southeast is unconquered, not where Oklahoma is. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you
Basically,
got one through
hey,
you want to
cuz in essence, Oklahoma, how they treat Oklahoma is kind of like a statewide reservation. It's a
yeah,
statewide
because they
reservation.
say, oh, if you not
That's where they made people go, like, here's your little reservation of land while we try to take over every fucking thing. But as we have stated that the tribes in the Southeast were unconquered. They fought for their land. They stayed in their land. They weren't forced to go to Oklahoma. Now, some people did choose to go to Oklahoma because everybody ain't a warrior. We get that. Everybody is not a warrior. Especially some people like the women and children, or the women that had little babies. Some of those we can't fault them for going to Oklahoma, but the ones that didn't stand and fight, that's another story.
but they're trying to make it seem that, oh, if your people in the room not Oklahoma, and if they're not federally recognized, they're not no real Indians. Like, hold on, wasn't that the people Indians before
Yeah,
the
it's
removal of 1830?
right. It's crazy. It's crazy. They just want to have something to argue about. That's all. That's
That's
all.
it. That's it. But we already showed about the pros and cons of being federal recognized already. We already showed them
Right.
that. That land that's over there in Oklahoma, if you really want to be technical about it, it's not traditionally the lands of the five civilized tribes. That was the land of the what of the Comanche, huh? What they gonna do if the Comanche and them say they want their homeland back? What the five civilized tribes gonna do?
Yeah, that will be interesting. And I did want to read this little excerpt. This is about this book. So if y'all want to know a little something about the unconquered people in the Southeast, it says this book is an easy read, interesting, and useful guide to Seminole history and culture. All right. This doctor has a background in archaeology. All right. And it is from the Atatiki Museum, the Seminole tribe of Florida. Um, it says, who are Florida's Seminole and Miccosukee Indians? Where did they come from? How and why are they different from one another? And what cultural and historical features do they share? Brent Wisen explores Seminole and Miccosukee culture through information provided by archaeology, ethnography, and historical documents, and the words of the Indians themselves. He explains when and how their culture was formed and how it was, or how it has, withstood historical challenges and survives in the face of pressures from the modern world. Focusing on key elements of ceremony and history, Wiseman examines the origins and persistence of the green corn dance, the importance of the clan in determining political and social relationships, and the crucial role of the Second Seminole War, 1835 to 1842, and its aftermath in simulating cultural adaptation as the entire Indian population was forced deep into the remote wetlands of South Florida. Throughout, he emphasizes the remarkable ability of the Seminoles to adapt successfully to changing circumstances while preserving their core identity from the colonial period through to present day, noting the importance of geography for understanding people's identity. He adds a travel guide to access this historical sites throughout the state. So basically, he illustrates stories from the Seminoles and some of their quotes. All right, and it speaks on the Seminoles in South Florida, that South Florida region, and the importance of Seminole history and the Suwannee River in the Painus Prairie area of north central Florida, the Withlacoochee River wetlands of central Florida, the Big Cypress region of the southwest Florida, and Pine Island Ridge of eastern Everglades. So this is a good book for students and people that want to know about Seminole history, especially in Florida. So this is just a book if y'all want to know about the unconquered people, the Seminole and Miccosukee Indians.
But you know what's so funny? Here, the
What?
United States military had to relocate the Comanche, and then they brought the 5 civilized tribes to the Comanche land. That's crazy.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it
And
is.
then my thing is this, right? What made the United States government bring the 5 civilized tribes to Oklahoma? Why they didn't bring them nowhere else?
Yeah. Yeah, because now you can look at all the circumstances. What they were saying about Oklahoma, how the land wasn't like the soil and the land wasn't as good for growing things like all the other places. So it's kind of like they give them the leftover land while they take the good, plentiful land, but they give them the leftover. That's, I mean, in a nutshell, in
Yeah,
layman's
because they
terms.
say the land wasn't good for cultivation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically they brought them out there to starve.
Yeah. And so basically, I mean, when we were talking about the Muskogee Seminoles and those people, they did mention the Seminole Wars in those excerpts that I read earlier. And this just gives y'all an overview of the First Seminole War, which was 1817 to 1818. The Second Seminole War was 1835 to 1842. The Third Seminole War was 1855 to 1858. And then they go on to talk about different land disputes, the Indian Removal Act, slavery, military conflict, forced removal, which we've been talking about, how they forced some of the people to go to Oklahoma. So it's just very interesting, all of this. And this site, this is the Florida Department of State. This is their website where they do break down the Seminole Wars. And we have done podcasts on the Seminole Wars. We talked about the Seminole, the Gullah Wars, all of that. So if y'all new to our channel, y'all can look at some of our past podcasts. And we even had War Chief John Horse, his great niece, on our podcast, Denise Vasquez Welch. So y'all can look her up. She speaks on the Seminoles and the Muskogos in Nacimiento. So y'all can look up her up too. Peace to everybody in the chat. We thank y'all for tuning in.
Right. For those that tune in, thank you. But the only person I see in the chat is Cousin Anthony.
Well, guess what? It's people always in there, but everybody don't chat. They just observe.
Yeah, comment. Cousin Anthony been commenting.
Oh yeah. Anthony, he always come in and comment. But it's other people observing. We have our relations observing and some enemies observing. Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all y'all.
I know what, man, because they can't call my phone. They can't call my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing, but we ain't gonna focus on that shit. Because this is Southeastern TalkingStick podcast. So ain't nobody getting no shout outs on here. So this is just excerpts. If y'all want a recap on the Seminole Wars, all of that, y'all can look at some of our past podcasts, or y'all can even read this site. This is from Florida Department of State. So this is a government website. So, and they start this from 1776. Excuse me, but they don't go to the 1500s though. Yeah, they even on here, when I type in the wars in which, my cuz, he go hard on this, on the Yamasee Wars. But they say, even in this little excerpt, they say 1500s, but they always skip to 1715. And we've shared books on all of this stuff on different podcasts. So these wars have been going on forever. So as we stated before, you have the unconquered, and then you have the prisoners of war, some people that were caught up. And then you have people that were cowards that didn't stand and fight. And then you had people that did what they had to do, especially like the women that had little children or families that had to take care of them, etc. So, everybody, did what they could in their situation. So we can't fault everybody. But it's an interesting topic. So this is like basically between Juneteenth and the 4th of July. The 4th of July, freedom. What is freedom? You have the unconquered people's perception, and then you have the prisoners of war perception. Some people, you get caught up, but do you have that warrior spirit, or do you have that conquered spirit at the end of the day? So you can examine that with your ancestors. You can examine that with yourself today. Somebody messing with you?
No. That was Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. How it is. And it's funny how they trying to rally up against my chief, my cousin, and everything. And the people they need to rally against, they haven't even much rally against them. They didn't even much trying to put a petition to go back to so they supposed to be homeland. But hey, once again, the so-called Mekasuki people and them was from not the southeast. But hey, who am I? We know they wasn't from the southeast. They migrated to the southeast because they migrated from the west going to the east. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yet Georgia did a whole series on them talking about, oh, the Muskogee people's gone for 200 years and they returned back to their homeland. That was not the homeland of the Muskogee people. The Southeast was not the homeland of the Muskogee people. So-called Muskogee people, because Muskogee was in their name. But hey, who am I?
Right.
Those of us who know.
Right.
But the United States is playing the game with them same civilized tribes to trying to wipe out the original dark skinned Indians that people call Africans.
Right. Exactly. The misnomer African American.
Misnomer African. Yeah, they say that the Yamasi was Negroes, but yet they look like Africans. And it was pre-Columbians. To be pre-Columbian, that means you was before 1490.
Right.
But yet you got a dumb Negro on TikTok, and I'ma say it. Oh, the Yamasi didn't become Negroes until the Atlantic slave trade, nigga. When they put the congressional records from the 1800s and they posted it in the early 1900s, and they said that the Yamasi were pre-Columbian Negroes, that was before Christopher Columbus, nigga. That was before any Atlantic slave trade supposedly happened in what 16, 19, in the 1800s. They say these people were pre-Columbian Negroes, Indians. That means that was before the 1400s. So you're looking at the 1300s, the 1200s, the 1100s, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But hey, y'all don't want to talk about that. Oh, you look like Africans. Yeah, they say that in the congressional records, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. This is Yamasi Negro Indians, or Negro Indians is a term that has been associated with certain individuals or groups of Yamasi heritage. This is in context of South Carolina slave code around the Civil War. At that
And the
time,
Civil War happened what? The Civil
nation-
War happened in the 1860s, right? Okay.
Right. It said that the classification changed from Indian to Negro or mulatto as they became as Negro Indians.
Wait, what kind of Indians? Negro Indians, right?
Negro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna stop playing with us, man.
And it says right here, pre-Columbian history of the Yamasi, and we've shared a book about the Yamasi. All right. It says the Yamasi were a multi-ethnic confederation of Native Americans residing in the coastal regions of present-day northern coastal Georgia and northeastern Florida.
Y'all can keep on playing with us. Bring us to court. Bring us to court. We're gonna show the evidence that the pale face in them said about us. Yeah. Y'all that's gonna open up Pandora's box. See, y'all trying to say, oh, y'all look like Africans. Yeah, they said that in the congressional records. We're gonna use that. Mighty funny, the Freemans in them the Seminoles in them in Oklahoma actually used that documentation dealing with the congressional records to be recognized again over there in Oklahoma, right? That's funny how they use that congressional records. But hey, y'all don't want to talk about that though. But y'all say that we extinct. Okay, if we extinct, bitch, we got some dinosaur bones coming with us. That part.
We still here. We still
You know
here.
what? It's mighty funny that all these people want to say everybody. They want trying to say that the Taínos extinct. They want to say that the Arawaks are extinct. They want to say that the Yamasee is extinct. They say the dodo bird was extinct. They say that the angelfish was extinct. Keep on saying everything is extinct, but yet when you look at it, they're the ones that look like they're all being extinct because the population growth is not even growing. Don't you find that funny? That's very ironic.
Yep, and it says right here, it says the term Negro Indian, the designation Negro Indian emerged in historical records, particularly in South Carolina, and reflects the societal changes and classifications imposed during certain historical periods. But yeah, so they say a lot of stuff. That's just a little excerpt, but we've shared books on this, reliable source books. Somebody blowing you up.
Oh, that's a friend of mine.
And this is the book that we said is a good source about the Yamasee Indians, the multi-ethnic Negro Indians. Okay. So y'all can check out that book.
Ooh, somebody, man. Bring it to the federal court. Bring it to the federal court. Y'all about to bust hell wide open. Y'all about to open up Pandora box. I can't wait. Ooh, I can't wait. Ooh, I can't wait because when we pull out the historical documents, what the fuck y'all gonna do? What they gonna do? What they gonna do, huh? When we pull out the congressional records and all the other records, huh? What they gonna do? What they gonna do? Oh, that's right. Y'all gonna need the white man to say, "Oh, the Yamasee is who they are." That's what y'all waiting on. Like, bitch, we've been telling y'all this.
Yeah, like once they say it, then they gonna believe it, right?
Hey, that's what they're waiting on. Dumb fucks. Dumb fucks. I said it. Bitch, we waiting. Bitch, we wait. Y'all better bring everything. And then y'all talk about y'all testing all that there. Bitch, we know y'all got motherfucking Mongolian ancestry in your DNA. If y'all want to play that motherfucking shit, you know what I'm saying? Let's play. Let's play for whatever which way we go. Bitch, we know where we come from.
Exactly.
And nigga with his crooked ass nose.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any comments or questions in the chat? We thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all.
I can't wait. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, don't
haters. Man, we ready to do this shit.
Oh yeah, when it's time to war and battle, it's time. And you can do that.
When the white folks tell y'all
different ways, though. You can do that.
When the white folks tell y'all, oh, they are who they say they are, what the fuck y'all gonna do? Y'all still gonna ramble, or y'all gonna go in the corner and cry? What bitches y'all know? What y'all gonna do? Them niggas real Indians. Them niggas real Indians.
Yeah.
Them Negro Indians. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh. That's crazy that they need for them to say it. But they've been saying it because it's written down. It's written down.
From the 1800s and the 1700s. What more you want? And then the nigga said about, oh, the Yamasee and them was extinct. How, nigga? How? Because they said, oh, they found Yamasee down there in St. Augustine. But hold on, if they're supposed to be extinct, how the fuck you gonna find them down there in St. Augustine? How you gonna find them down there in Tampa? How you gonna find them down there in Pensacola? How you gonna find them in Biloxi? How you gonna find them in Mobile? How you gonna find them in Louisiana. How you gonna find them in Texas? But yet
All
we
throughout the Southeast.
we're supposed to be extinct. And then the niggas still trying to say that the Iba'a is extinct. How? How? When y'all was in the villages fighting the people. Oh, that's right. Even in the Carolina Save document say those who are free or not free will be considered what? Extinct. Those who are at what? At amity with the government will be deemed as extinct. Can you pull that up, cuz? It's the Carolina Slave Act when it says about Indians free or not free who are
Hey, cuz you pull it up and I'll share it.
Let me see if I can pull it up. Because you know my computer been acting funny. That's why I asked you to do it.
Peace. Peace, big sis. Black Mama Raven. Watto, big sis. Yeah, I don't know if you're tuning in now, but we were talking about the history of Juneteenth and the Negro Indians, the Muskogos, the Seminoles, the Negro Indians, and how they are and still considered the unconquered peoples, the tribal nations of the Southeast, the ones that are Negroid looking, not the ones that are Mongoloid looking. So that we kind of touched on that earlier. If you missed it, I know you'll probably go back and look at the beginning. So that's what prompted this podcast today, since we just left out of Juneteenth, and then we got the 4th of July, that's coming up. So it's all about freedom, being unconquered, and giving honor to the prisoners of war, our ancestors that some of them did get caught up and they were prisoners of war. But our people know how to make the best of what they are going through. And a lot of our people were warriors and warrior women. So we give honor to them. We did touch on the Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. We went to their page. They actually have a museum, and we did touch on that earlier. So, yeah, this right here. We did touch on this, the Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. And this is from the Seminole Indian Scout Cemetery Association. And we did go over the fact that in congressional records, they described the Yamasee as Negro Indians, a multi-ethnic Indian peoples. So thank you for tuning in, Watto, big sis. You made my day. You made my night, big sis. Peace to everybody else that's in the building, even though y'all not chatting. But thank y'all for tuning in. Watto, Yakoki, Shona Bischi to you. Y'all quiet. If you got your phone muted, cause I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with him, but I can't hear him if he talking. But this is a good book for y'all. We can preview this book, because I don't know what's going on with his sound.
Hold on, I'm coming, cuz. Hold on.
Uh, things about the Yamasi.
I'm trying to see.
And even this book that talks about the Yamasi's success in weathering, dealing with the Westo slave raids. So these wars been going on.
Let's see something.
And it said that they built other networks with the Wales and the Apalachicolas. What? Yeah, this book is deep. It's interesting. The little pages that they show me, but I got this book, so I was just trying to pull it up.
See, I used to have it. I used to have it stored in my phone. I'm looking for it, but I couldn't find it. But it's in the South Carolina. It's in the South Carolina slave code when it says about um Indians that are free or not free who was at enmity with the government should be deemed as extinct.
Yeah, and we did talk about that on another podcast
On
too.
another podcast, yeah, because I brought it up. I brought it up on the
It was
podcast.
one of those books too.
Right.
Yeah, one of those books that we were at. And what keywords did you say? Because while you looking, I'm gonna look too.
All right. Is the when they said that Indians free or not free who are at enmity with the government should be deemed as extinct.
Okay, they got free Indians in amity with the state, a legal legacy.
Oh, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got
Okay.
it. Okay. Negro Law of South Carolina, Chapter 1. Okay. It goes down to
Negro Law of South Carolina.
yeah, Chapter 1. I know I was gonna find it. I know I was gonna find it.
No, you talking about this right here?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it will only let me view what 68 pages it says.
Let me see what page it's on. Okay. Dealing with Section 1, the Act of 1740, Section where it say, I declare all Negroes, and hold on, let me turn my camera sideways. I can get a better look. Okay, there we go. This better. All right. It said, I declare all Negroes and Indians, free Indians in amity with this government, Negroes, mulattoes, and mestizos who now are free except to be slaves. The offsprings of the follow the conditions of the mother, and that such slaves and cattle personal. Section 2. Under the provision, it has been uniformly held that color of preface evidence that the party bearing the color of a Negro, look, bearing the color of a Negro, they say the mulatto or the mestizos, is a slave, but the same palmer faced results does not follow for the Indian color. Well, what's the Indian color? Okay, the Indian color is a chestnut brown or chestnut red, right? Um, they say section 3, Indians and descendants of Indians are regarded as free Indians in amity with this government until the contrary be shown in the second provo of section 1 of the Act of 1740. It is declared that every Negro, Indian, mulatto, and mestizo is a slave unless the contrary can be made to appear. Yet, in the same is in the immediate thereafter provided. The Indian in enmity with the government, except for which is the case of burden of proof, shall lie on the defendant. This is on the person claiming the Indian plaintiff to be a slave. The latter clause of the preamble is now regarded as furnishing rule. The race of slaves, Indians of the Indian, not in enmity with this government, the state, is extinct. There you go.
And what page is that? Because I'm on chapter 1. What page is that?
This will be what page? What page? What page? Oh man, what page? I'm trying to see. They don't have a page number on it. Oh,
Okay,
it,
so from chapter 1 to, let's see.
it's chapter 1. When it
Okay.
says
What?
the state of the Negro, his rights and disabilities, is that one.
Okay, but what section? It'll say section what? Section
It will go
9.
down. It will go down to. It will go down to where it says section 3. It's section 3. See if you can find section 3. It's section 3. Yeah, that's it. Image 9, section 3.
You said section 3.
Yeah, section 3.
All right.
There you go.
Indians of
Yeah,
Indian
there you go.
as free Indians in amity. Okay. All right.
That's it. That's it. So when motherfuckers talk about, oh, the Yamasee was extinct. I see why, because we was at enmity with the motherfuckers. That's why. You only can make people think only on paper, not by blood.
Right. That's that paper genocide shit.
Right. Right.
People
come on, man. Y'all gonna lose when y'all come to court against us. Y'all gonna lose because we gonna kick that ass. Bitch, we don't play. We gonna kick that ass. Bring that ass. Bring that ass. Please bring it. Look, show it where it says that those that were enmity.
What'd you say?
Pull it up a little bit larger so they can see it, because they can't see. That's small right there. Pull that up. They say the race of slave Indians. Look, the race of slave Indians are Indians not in amity to this government state is extinct. It hence what the previous part of the program has no application. Yeah, and then the fourth and the section 4 say the term Negro is confined to slave Africans, the ancient Berbers, and their descendants. It does not embrace the free inhabitants of Africa, such as the Egyptians, the Moors, or the Asiatic, or huh?
No, I'm reading with you when it said that.
Yeah.
Or the see, when I try to make it big, it's funny.
But yeah, y'all see where it's at. Come on, man. We got documents. We got documents. Come on, man. Come on, y'all want to play, bitch? Let's play. Let's play, man. Fuck. We ready to smash y'all. We gonna smash y'all with this shit. We gonna smash y'all. Come on. Open up that Pandora's box. Y'all not gonna be able to shut that bitch. Y'all better stay down.
Yeah, so this is a good source for y'all. Again, another good source where y'all can look this up. Negro law of South Carolina.
And mind you, this is around what? 1740? But they say that the Yamasee got extinct in 1717 and 1718. But yet, they still talking about us in 1740. Make it the fuck, dumbass. Come on, man. We're not playing with you, boy. We're not playing with you. You're a pot licker. You're a pot licker. Streets, you're a pot licker. Yeah, nigga, I said your name.
Okay. Listen, we ain't giving none of them praise on here. We not. We gonna give y'all the raw facts. We gonna give y'all the raw facts. If y'all wanna comment and share.
Man, come on.
Come
on, we want y'all. Come on, let's go to court.
Our relations in the chat.
Let's go to court.
We here for our people. We know who we are, but we here for our people.
Let's do this. I'm ready. It's game time, man. It's game time. Let's play. Let's play. Right. Let's play. It's game time.
All right.
I told you and your boys and them, when you won't come against Chatupa, bitch, I'm gonna make you whole 5 civilized tribes hate me. I told you that. I told you that. I told you that. Yo, war to the doggone federal government. Oh, we know war. Yes, the fuck you are. Yes, you are. Come on, man. Let's do this. You don't have no autonomy, man. Come on.
Well, it's right here. Y'all can look it up. Y'all can look it up. It ain't no disputing. It's written here. It is written. Right.
That's law. That's law. That's case law. That's case law. That is case law. That's case law. Come on, man. Let's play. Come on. Y'all sure this what y'all want to do? Are you sure this what you want to do?
Does anybody have any comments or questions in the chat or in the background? Y'all here? I see y'all. We got some numbers in here, but everybody ain't in the chat. My big sis is in the chat, and then Anthony is in the chat.
Cuz, pull up the congressional records when they say that the Yamasi look like Negroes. Pull up the congressional records, cuz.
Okay, you find it and let me know exactly, because I'm gonna be on the fish hunt for that.
Okay,
because
okay.
I tried to type that shit up before, so you find it and let me know.
Let me see if I can find it.
So here's another source for you all, for the real people to recognize. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us. Some Sundays we may not be on here. Some Sundays we will be on here for our Sunday panel discussions, and we will be here periodically with some special guests. So y'all stay tuned. It's the summer. It's a lot of stuff going on. So some Sundays we won't be here. But while we here, we're going to bring y'all the raw truth, facts, and share resources with y'all. History, stories, etc. They starting to pop these firecrackers. They getting on my nerves. This was just water in here.
Wait for her to come back. I can go ahead on good. Oh, I got it, cuz. I got it, cousin Anthony. I got it.
You got what?
All right, I'm about to share it. I'm about to share it.
Yeah, you all see, once you find it and you tell me exactly what it is, then I can pull it up. I just ain't going on a wild goose chase, but I can pull it up once you tell me exactly what it is.
The Muskogee Creek Indian Freeman Band of Black Creeks, they got it on their Facebook page. for some reason they don't want to come up.
You said the Muskogee what?
I got it. I'm about to share it.
Okay. All right.
You see it?
Okay. You got it.
You see it?
Yeah.
The Muskogee Creek Indian Freeman Band of Black Creek's Post. It's on their post. Now why it's freezing on mine, I don't know. Cuz can you try to put it up on your page? Because it's not, I'm gonna come out of the sharing because it don't want to do it for me. But you can see where it was going.
Okay.
He pulled up.
So where did you find it at? Because this is the page. Where exactly on a page did you find out that you had? Are you talking about this right here?
When you talk about the Yamasi Indians, is about the Yamasi Indians. They got a whole post dealing with it. It say that the Yamasi Indian were Negroes, what were known afterwards as the fiercest of the Indian tribes of the South. If you put in the search engine, everybody can go to the search engine. If you go to the search engine on Google and put in Yamasi Indian were Negroes and you click the link, it's gonna show you.
But see, what you had pulled up, was that a screenshot what you had pulled up? Because
No, that was not a screenshot. That
I'm
was the
saying,
actual
we can
page.
read it. We can make it bigger from your screen because I'm on a Facebook, but I can't see where
No,
that is.
listen to what I said. You not listen to what I said. Come out of there. Come out of there. Come out of there right there.
This is what we gonna do. You gonna pull that shit up right there.
It's not letting me pull it through my computer. I told you that.
I know, but you gotta watch your tone though, cause
I already told you that you want me to pull up something that my computer's not letting me. That's why I told you. I just said it's not letting me pull it up.
What you had on the screen, you had it on the screen.
It didn't want to let me scroll up. It didn't want to let me scroll up. I didn't go directly to that page. Only thing that I did, I went to Google and I put in Yamasi Indians or Negroes. And then that's when it come up on Google. And then they have it to where that link right there show the post specifically itself. It's not showing all of that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But you're not listening.
No, I am listening, but I wanted you to keep it on that page so that I could try to find it. Because when I put those words in, it didn't give me that page in my selection.
On Google?
Yeah, I'm on Google and it ain't giving me that. Let me type something else. Hold on.
Because when I put it on my Google, I said Yamasee Indians are Negroes. And then
Okay.
that's when they should.
Okay, so at first you said word Negroes, now it's our Negroes. So maybe I gotta change the words. Because you gotta put certain words in, otherwise it ain't gonna pop up unless it pop up on the second search page. You gotta be specific with that shit.
You just can't look at the first link. You got to keep going through.
I know, but like I said, if you tell me where it is, because I ain't going on a wild goose chase. If you tell me where it is, then I can
I
find
didn't
it.
see you on a wild
So
goose
what
chase.
I did was I put in
specifically
some extra words, some different words, and now I got it because I put in some different words.
Now you see the link that I'm talking about, the post, the specific post
Yeah, I
itself?
had to change the words.
There
Yeah,
we go.
I finally found it. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. It says the large Negro population on the coast of South Carolina is quite different from this here described. The mayor of Beaufort says the town is remarkable for quiet and good order. For 20 years past, not a single individual has been killed or seriously injured. I want to go down here, close to here. All right, it says a most peculiar thing is the Quatre fungis. That's
And they
kind of,
also say that the
it's
Yamasee
kind
look
of like distorted right here. But it says he is a high authority, and he says that the Yamasee Indians were Negroes, what were known afterwards as the fiercest of the Indian tribes of the South. The well-known Yamasee Indians were Africans. That's a misnomer because they always try to add the word African. First it said that they were Indians were Negroes, then they said that they was Africans. This is crazy. And then it says, is it a fact that they were much darker than the other Indians? He said, yes, it is a fact. And the hair was different too. It says, so it is stated by one of the most distinguished ethnologists in the world. Another corroborative proof is that Spaniards found that one Negro was equal to 10 Indians for work. And there were therefore imported these Indian Negroes. See, they just
Indian Negroes.
Right, they just keep contradicting themselves. But
and that's in the 1800s. That congressional records right there from the 1800s. Go ahead.
Right. I just hate that they don't give the context to this. They just got like a screenshot and shit. But it says, it says they were Indian Negroes and carried them to the West Indies to experiment with. So they carried these Indian Negroes to the West Indies to experiment with. Y'all hear that shit? All right. It says the state guarantees $3 per pupil enrolled in the case. The school taxes do not produce that much. Basically, they just talking about how much they paying and all of that. But basically, they took these Indian Negroes to the West Indies to experiment with. That is pretty fucked up. but it does say that you might see word Negroes right here. It does say that. So they should have did on this page, they should have said where they got this excerpt from, because all they got is a page. No reference.
That is from the congressional records of the agriculture. Is dealing with agriculture. Is dealing with agriculture. It's the congressional
Yeah, that's
records
fine.
of
I mean, that's
of
fine, but I'm just saying when they put it on their page, they should have gave a reference. That's what I'm saying. But
yeah,
you're not
yeah. But
listening.
I just gave the reference though because I know where it's at.
Yeah, I know. That's
I
what I'm
heard you.
saying. But you're
That's
not
why I
listening.
gave you the reference. Yeah.
Yeah, so we gave y'all some sources tonight, some things that y'all can look at. This one especially, the Negro Law, and we started out about basically what is freedom, who are the unconquered peoples, who are the prisoners of war. We're dealing with Juneteenth and the 4th of July because we about to be in that season. So from June 19th to July 4th, this is when everybody is talking about Juneteenth, freedom, etc. So we just wanted to show y'all the other side of things, dealing with all of these wars that our Negro Indian ancestors had to deal with from the 1500s till basically today.
Even with the 4th of July, right? How 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 did the so-called United States got independence? Because the last time I checked, right, um, if they got independence when the Queen of England passed away, and don't give me that shit about we raised the flag at half staff because of solidarity in for mourning. If you separated from the crown, you wouldn't even much give a fuck if the bitch died.
Some people say that shit, huh?
Yeah, but yet, if they're supposed to got independence from the crown, why is it that Queen Elizabeth, when she was living and she was well, came and spoke at Capitol Hill in Congress? How she was able to come and talk in Congress, but yet she's supposed to be a monarch of England and of Canada and of New Zealand and many other places. But why did she come here to the United States? And if you think I'm joking, you can even pull it up. The Queen of England speaks to Congress. What's she doing coming speaking to Congress? For what reason? For what reason? If you're supposed to got your independence from England, why the fuck is she speaking in Congress? Or speaking to the Congress? But nobody never asked that question. You can pull that up right quick. Or you need me to pull it up?
You gonna pull that shit up, and then I'll share it.
I told you my computer is acting crazy. That's why I wasn't there on the first time. I don't know what to keep on doing. I know I cleaned my laptop. Let's see.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Peace, Ninki. Yes. CO Halito. All right. Yeah. Thank you for coming. I don't remember seeing you before. But welcome to Southeastern TalkingStick podcast. Appreciate you coming through.
I'm about to share it. Hold on. All right. Can you see it? Can
Let
you
me
see it?
see.
Can you see it?
Yeah, give me a minute. It's up there.
Okay, as you can see, it said yes. Queen Elizabeth II addressed a joint meeting of the United States Congress on May the 16th of 1991. Okay, and if you remember, what that is, May, June, July, August, September, what, 4 months after her speaking to Congress, 4 months after that, on September the 11th of 1991, George Herbert Walker Bush Sr. actually spoke about the New World Order on September the 11th of 1991. This was after she came, right? And it said key details about her address. She was the first British monarch to address a joint session of the United States Congress. Why? Why did she come and speak to Congress if they're supposed to got independence from the crown? But yet y'all let the crown come and speak. Come on, man. Y'all playing with people, bro. Around 800 people attended the address. She opened her speech with a humorous, right, analog about the early incidents where only her hat was visible over the podium during the White House welcoming ceremony, due to the height differences in President Bush. Yeah, he was the president at that time. So why would the monarch come and speak to a nation that's not even much under her authority, supposedly be, right? Her speech received a standing ovation and applause multiple times. The address was part of the 13-day visit to the United States, and her first visit since 1976. Also, that was wow, 49 years ago. Yeah, 49 years ago. She spoke about the serious themes, including the Persian Gulf War and the relationship between the UK and the United States. And she ended her speech with "May God bless America," which was well received. But remember, "God bless America" actually comes from "God bless the Queen" or "God bless the King." That was the name of the song, "God bless the King" or "God
Yeah.
bless the Queen."
Or
Say that.
God save the queen.
Right, right, right. So why? Why? If they didn't, if they supposed to got independence in the 4th of July, why y'all letting this bitch come talk to y'all? I don't understand. Hey, this is
Hey,
popular.
hey.
Yeah.
See that this is why we bringing stuff up around this time, because people are listening, they are paying attention around this time. So anything that references Juneteenth or the 4th of July, they're gonna listen. So their ears are palatable. They ready. They hungry right now. So we giving them this.
How many Commonwealth states is in the 13 colonies? You heard me, cuz?
What you speaking on?
How many Commonwealth states are inside of the 13 colonies?
Oh, you about to speak on it and share with the people?
I'm trying to remember. I got so much that I be having in my motherfucking head. I don't want shit like crossing one another. I'm about to see. Hold on. Hold on one moment.
Anybody got any questions or comments in the chat, or the observers out there? Do y'all want to check in while he trying to find what he talking about? Anybody want to check in? That song is in my head.
Oh, there are 4 Commonwealth states. I'm about to share it with you. Oh, there you go, right there. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
You see it? Okay.
We can
There
see
are 4 states in the United States that use the term Commonwealth in the name. Kentucky, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. The term Commonwealth is purely symbolic, is it? It doesn't change their legal status as states of the United States. They are otherwise identical to other 40 in relationship to the federal government. But do you know that the Commonwealth belongs to the king or to the crown? You know that, cuz?
So tell people how this is related to what we're talking about. Break it down, the significance, why you're bringing this up.
Well, have you ever heard of the Royal Proclamation line?
Okay, so go ahead. What about it?
I asked you a question. You talk about go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Listen. Share with the people. This ain't no question, Christina. Share with the people. Share the knowledge.
Look, we dialoguing, okay? If you know, you know. If you
I'm
don't, you
listening.
don't.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Never mind, y'all. Y'all can go look up the Royal Proclamation and see why all that's done. That's how you know what the Commonwealth is dealing with.
So you brought this up when you was talking about freedom and the Queen. I just want you to bring it all together because everybody don't understand how your mind works. So if you tell them why you bring these together.
The Commonwealth belongs to the crown. That's why it's called the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth belongs to the crown. It never ceased. That's why that was the colony that made the money for the king, which was the colonies. The Commonwealth. The Commonwealth belongs to the crown. Right, cuz Commonwealth is a charter of the crown. That's right. They never delinquished that charter that belongs to the crown. That was the money maker for the crown right there. Those 4 states of the colony. So they never got independence from it. Because remember, when Virginia, dealing with the Virginia company that's under the doggone crown, remember it had failed the first time, and then they had to go ahead on and revamp it and become the state of Virginia. Because it's a commonwealth. That was the business of the crown. That's how the crown made its money.
So basically you telling the people they're celebrating what?
The 4th of July is a lie.
That's why I said the 4th of July.
Yeah, it's a lie. Because listen, even if you was to go to the Treaty of Paris, okay, after the so-called American Revolution, right?
Right. That's why I put that song on there. Nagas in Paris. Nagas in Paris.
King George III said that he was the royal prince of America. Well, what does that mean? That he's the royal prince of America, right? And not only that. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up the Treaty of Paris. Hold on, we about to get into
you hear me, cuz that's why I use that song. You hear me?
Hate me.
Cuz
yeah, I heard you. I heard you.
That's why I use that song.
I heard you.
Nagas in Paris. It's funny.
Yeah. Let me pull up the Treaty of Paris, because see, people in them thinking that he just was the King of England, but according to the Treaty of Paris, he was not only the King of England. It's funny how they call it the Treaty of Paris, right? Yeah, but he's supposed to be an English king. He's supposed to be an English king, but it's called the Treaty of Paris. Why they call it the Treaty of Paris? But he's supposed to be the King of England.
Interesting.
Hold on, let's get into it. See, man, I'm big old history buff. Man, y'all sure y'all want to go to court with the Yamasi? I'm gonna bust y'all ass in court. Y'all thought Johnny Cochran was a motherfucker. Boy, wait till y'all take me in the courtroom. I'm gonna whip y'all ass. Oh shit! It's gonna be funny. They're gonna be like, why y'all bought your Yamasi in here? Why y'all gotta go fucking with the Yama? Yo, the Treaty of Paris. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see. I want to get the actual treaty. The National Archives. Okay. We can go to the All right. Here we go. Okay, this what I'm about to do. Okay, I'm gonna stop this one right here. You can go to the other. Boy, they go like that. Yeah. Okay, y'all ready? Here you go. Because see, when the movie, how many of y'all saw the movie Pirates of the Caribbean High Tides? How many of y'all saw that? How many of you saw the movie from Walt Disney called Caribbeans of the Pirates High Tides? I think that was part 2 or part 3, I think. But anyway, that was the part when they had King George in there, and he was talking to Jack Spicer, right? And Jack Sparrow. He was talking to Jack Sparrow, and and Barboza came out there, and everything. But before Borza came out, the dude he had on the white wig, he said, "Do you not know who you speaking to?" He said, "He is your king and lord. He is the king of England. He's the king of Ireland and Great Britain, right? Well, England, Great Britain, and that's why I say in France." And everybody looking at me like France, like yeah, but nah, y'all see, y'all see, it's up there.
Here, let me pull it up. Hold on. Oh, what happened? You took it down?
I'm trying to share. Hold on. I'm about to share. Hold on. I'm about to share. I'm about to share. Hold on. All right, you got it?
My head all day. Let me see. Yeah, I see it now.
All right. I'm teaching y'all right now because y'all didn't even much know that he was the king of England in France.
Speak on it.
Did I say France? Yeah, here it go. Right? They say in the name of the most holy and undivided Trinity, I having pleased the divine providence of the poles, the heart of the most synchron and most potent Prince George the Third, by the grace of God and King of what? Great Britain, France, and Ireland. Look, look, look. He was the King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland. But y'all never heard of him being the King of France until tonight. Now, some of y'all may have known that, but when the movie came out, I said, and don't forget France. And the white people looked at it because we was at AMC, you know, at the movie theater, me and my cousin Jason. And I said, hey, he's the King of France. And motherfucker was like, huh? Like, yeah, if anybody read the Treaty of Paris, you got to read the Treaty of Paris, right? And it said that he's the great king. And this is how you know that the Roman Empire did not fall either, because look what he goes on to say. It said, by the grace of God, the King of Britain, France, and Ireland, defender of the faith, which is the Roman Catholic faith, okay? Now, remember, he is the king at this time, but he's not an Engliston. He didn't go to Canterbury to be a Christian. He is a defender of the Roman faith, which is Catholicism. Okay, and that's what it said. A Duke of Brunswick and Lindbergh, arch treasurer of the Prince Elector of the Holy Roman Empire. I say, hold on. This motherfucker said that the Roman Empire fell, but if the Roman Empire fell, how the fuck he gonna be the royal prince elect treasurer of the Holy Roman Empire in 1783? How that's gonna be? But the Holy Roman Empire is supposed to fail. But yet the king is the king of, and he also the arch treasurer and prince elector of the Holy Roman Empire. He just wasn't a regular king. He was a king that was anointed by the Pope of that time. See, people don't even know that he was a prince elector of the Holy Roman Empire, etc., and of the United States. And listen, and of the United States. See, but yet they say they got independence. But look, they're letting you know what his jurisdiction is. And it said, and of the United States of America, to forget all past misunderstanding and differences that have unhappily interrupted of a good correspondence and friendship, which they mutually wish to restore and to establish such a beneficial and satisfactory intercourse, between the two countries upon the grounds of reciprocation, advancement, and mutual conveyance, and what as may promote in the security to both perpetual peace and harmony, and having for the desirable ending already laid for the foundation of peace and reconciliation by provisional article signed at Paris, right? Which was signed at Paris to answer the question when somebody said it was signed in Paris. Yes, it was. And on the 30th of November of 1782. Now, if y'all remember, they say by the commission empowered and of the port of the article which agreed to be inserted in the Constitution and the Treaty of Paris proposed to the conclude between the Crown of Great Britain and the said United States, right? But yet you still have the common law. I mean, not common law, Commonwealth. They said, but with these treaties were not to be concluded until the terms of peace should be agreed upon between Great Britain, France, and the Brittany Majesty, right? Which is Britain, right? Majesty should be already to be concluded such treaty accordingly. And the treaty between Great Britain, France, having seen being concluded for the British Majesties in the United States in order to carry out for full effect of the provisional articles above mentioned according to the Temnar, therefore have constituted and appointed, that is to say that the Brittany Majesty on his part and David Hartley, Esquire, member of the Parliament of Great Britain, and it said the United States on their part. Stop point and look, John Adams, Esquire. So now you have to ask yourself this. What they're doing with titles of nobility when they don't supposed to have a title of nobility? Because to be an Esquire, that's a title of nobility.
Right.
Member of the Parliament. See how they telling on themselves? But see, people don't study the law.
Yeah, and you know what? When they've been protesting, they've been holding up signs saying no more kings, and we don't want kings. And one would think, like, why are they saying that?
But if you notice, everything that was happening with Queen Elizabeth, that was letting the American people know, and I'm like, if y'all got away from the bitch, what y'all concerned about if she's sick or not? Like, you know, oh, well, Charles became king, and we about to do his coronation. Like, why?
Like, why is that important to us? Why is that important? It ain't important to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would that be important? It's important because they know that the people is still the monarchs over the land over here.
Right.
But over the people.
Yeah, right? over the non-true people.
Right. But see, right here, they were saying in the Commission of the United States of America at the Court of Verdes, last delegate in Congress, right, from the state of Massachusetts. And remember, that's supposed to be one of the Commonwealth states. And the Chief Justice said state in the Minister of Penitentiary and the said Esquire late delegation in Congress in the state of Pennsylvania, right? And the president of the convention of the said state and the Minister of Penitentiary from the United States of America at the Court Verdes and John J. Esquire and late president of Congress and the Chief Justice of the state of New York, right? See, they're telling on themselves. That's why it's good to read. That's why it's good to read stuff. Right? But look, this is the point that I'm trying to look for. I'm trying to see when they said about they told the United States they couldn't come west of the Mississippi. That's the part that I'm looking for. Okay, I think this is it. Article 2, I think. They say with all disputes might arise in the future on the subject of the boundaries of the United States may be prevented is hereby agreed and declared that the following are the said, shall be their boundaries. So look, how if you got your ass whipped by the American Revolution Army, how can you delegate to the United States what their boundaries are? Hold on. I thought only the winner is supposed to dictate, not the loser, right? But they say about the boundaries, they say if from the northwest, um, angel of Nova Scotia, Vista, and the angel within the form by the line drawn due north of the source of St. Croix River to the highlands along the said the highlands and divided those rivers to empty themselves into the river of the St. Lawrence and those which falls into the Atlantic Ocean and the northwesternmost in the head of Connecticut River, this down along the middle of the river to the 45th degree north latitude. From this, the line due west on the said, due west on the said latitude, where then it strikes the river of the Iroquois or the Curry, that's the Indian tribes right there. Thence, along the middle of the said river into the Lake Ontario, through the middle of the said lake until the striking of the communication by water between Lake and Lake Erie. This along the middle of the communication into Lake Erie, though the middle of the said lake until it arrived at the water in the communication between that lake and Lake Huron, right? Thus along the see, he tell them what the boundaries are. But I want to see when they said about. Oh, here you go. And they said that into the said lakes of the wood, this through the said lake of the most northern point, therefore, and from this on due west coast to the river Mississippi, right? Mississippi, thus of the line drawn along the middle of the said river Mississippi until it shall intersect the northernmost point of the 31st degree or northern latitude south by the line to be drawn due east from the demarcation of that line of the last mentioned. So basically, what he told them, they can't come past the Mississippi. He given them the boundary of the United States according to this treaty. Because when you're looking at it, the 31st degree north latitude, south by the line to be drawn due east from the demarcation of the line last mentioned, right? And it says that dealing with the 31st degree of the equator to the middle of the river of the Apicola, right, in the Chattahoochee, right, which is over there in Georgia, today's Georgia, this along the middle and therefore to junction with the Flint River, thence straight to the head of St. Mary's River and down along the middle of St. Mary's River to the Atlantic Ocean. So that right there, that Treaty of Paris was signifying saying that was the boundary of the motherfucking United States. That was the boundary. They didn't supposed to go past the Mississippi River. But guess what? You know what wound up happening, cuz? You know what wound up happening? After King George III passed away, that's when they did with the expansion going west in 1803, dealing with the Lewis and Clark expedition. So yeah, everything was done by military occupation. And yet, yeah, he's the king of the five crowns. Absolutely, cousin Anthony. So yeah. So that's when they did their westward expansion after he died. After King George III died, that's when another Queen Anne, if I'm not mistaken, I think Queen Anne became I think that was his cousin. She became the Queen of England, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. But I say I got so much history in my head, man. It ain't even this motherfucking funny. I'll have to go back and refile everything in my brain in correctual timeline and order. What you say, cuz?
Yeah, that's dealing with they shit, they history. Our history, that's a whole nother thing. And when you said they didn't go past the west of the Mississippi, and I said, I wonder why is that? But my mic muted.
Yeah. Well, Gator, you have to know their history and their heritage to know where you can find the lies at, because you would never know. Because look, check this out, right? During this time of the American Revolution, you got to look at it, right? You have King George III, who was the Holy Treasurer. He financed both sides of the American Revolution. That's what people not getting. He funded both sides.
They always do that. They just authors of confusion, sowers of discord.
Yeah, they never got independence. Never. If you notice, all the songs that you hear dealing with the United States, that was either praising the Queen or the King of England. Go look at it. Go look at all the songs that's for the United States praising the King and Queen. Because when they talk about all hail the chief, that was a hail the chief that was called all hail the king.
Yeah, so we gave them some of that history too. Thank Motigator and Big Pontiac came on in the midst of it. Y'all can watch it from the beginning where we started out. We was talking about basically what is freedom and dealing with Juneteenth, the other side of the Juneteenth story with the Muskogee Seminoles, the Negro Indian Scouts. They called them Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. So we talked about that because we are between Juneteenth and the 4th of July. So this is why we're touching on things dealing with freedom, the unconquered people versus the prisoners of war, etc. So y'all can rewind it and look at the beginning too if y'all coming in late. So peace to y'all.
Well, thank everybody for coming in. Those who watching and those who will watching in the future and everything. And to my haters, hi haters, hi haters. Like John Cena, you can't see me, bitch. You can't see me. You can't see me.
Yeah. They don't know what to do with themselves at the end of the day.
I'm a Negro Indian. I'm a Negro Indian. I'm a Negro Indian.
Exactly. Shout out to all the Negro Indian descendants.
Shout out to all my Negro Indians.
Yes.
Shout out to y'all. Big ups.
Yes. C.O. Halito to everybody.
All my Negro Indians. And that go for the admixtures too. Don't forget.
Yeah, it was exactly.
Because in the Carolinas slave code, they were talking about the admixtures. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
So you was twice a nigga.
Wouldn't you like to be one too? Wouldn't you like to be one?
He's a nigga, she's a nigga, he a nigga. Would you like to be a nigga too? That's why they can't say it. That's why they can't say it, because they're mad. Because they said they would be agreeing that, oh yeah, he's an Indian. What that was? When the Indian is a Negro?
Oh yeah, in that movie, the movie you love.
Oh! And that's why Barack Obama had to take Negro off the census. You know why? That's right? Yeah. The Negro is the Indian.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It gets real interesting around here. Hey, we thank y'all for tuning in and listening, commenting, all of that. All the
they say
observers.
the first they records we Negro Indians. They
Yeah.
said it. That's a
Yep.
smoking
And
gun.
we've showed y'all several times on this channel. And shout out to the other channels that bring that same truth about the Negro Indians. So this is why you see people waking the fuck up. They already knew some of their oral tradition stories. Now they just waking all the way the fuck up. Y'all can't stop it. The truth is seeing the light of day in the masses. It's people that have known their oral tradition stories, their history, but it's getting massive out there, and they scared right now because it's getting massive.
But you know what's so funny? Donald Trump ain't making it no better because he said, yeah, we're gonna look back over the 14th Amendment, and it was for those descendants of those that was children that was born of the descendants of slaves and everything. So yeah, man, you gotta repatriate into your nation, man. Yeah, you know what your grandma and your grandpa told you. You just gotta do it.
At the end of the day, know who your people are. Get with them. Get with your people. This has been, a good one. We ain't had no in-depth discussions in a minute. So yeah, this was cool. We got to vibe with y'all this Sunday. Now I know next weekend that's gonna be the holiday, the 4th of July, when everybody got time off, because I got time off. So I'm gonna be with my family. So
no, they go pay me for that lie. They gonna pay me for that lie. They gonna pay me time and a half.
right. Yeah, shout out to everybody getting that money out there. Yeah.
That's money. It's so much money.
Yeah, I'm gonna be relaxing. So if y'all tuned in late, y'all can look again at the beginning up until now.
It was a slow start, like a good movie. It was a slow start, and that's when it built up to the grandeur.
It was actually a lot of good information from beginning to end. So make sure y'all check it out.
Yeah. Yep. The Crowns and the IMF and all that. Yeah. And all that stems under the Roman Catholic Church, because y'all forgot, dealing with Christopher Columbus and everything, dealing with the Doctrine of Discovery, put all the lands that was discovered under the trust of the Roman Catholic Church. But hey, you ain't hear from me. And what the emperor of the Roman Catholic Church did amongst his minions, the Spanish, the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, Austria, all of them had got a piece of land dealing with land grants. It was chartered out. That's how that happened. Because how the fuck you become how you become the prince of the United States of America, of North America? That's his title. That's right there, the doggone right there in the Treaty of Paris. You see, he's Prince of America. Ain't that some shit? Prince of North America. You supposed to got your ass whipped in the American Revolution, but here you tell the United States what their boundaries is. Aha! Obviously, he didn't lose. Obviously, he didn't lose. Just like Spain monarch came over here in 2017, King Philip. Yeah, y'all didn't know that Spain had a king today? His name is King Philip. His name is King Philip. You think I'm bullshitting? Hold on, I'll pull him up for you.
We don't want to see him. We want to see our people. That's what we want to see.
You don't see it?
No, I said we want to see our people.
But this is what I'm saying though. These countries still have their hand within the politics of the
Yes,
Southeast.
They do. They do, but we ain't giving them no
Because you got to
props.
remember, but you got to remember though. But you got to remember though, you had the royal families of Europe actually came and married into the Southeastern bloodline.
Oh yeah,
One
that's
of
how
them,
they get their foothold in. They can't beat us, so they join us.
yeah, one was Monkey Maison Rouge.
They've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep, they've been doing that for a long.
This is why in Louisiana you had certain Indians became known as French Indians. You see, you ain't hear nobody talk about that though. That's the other side of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can go into our misnomer Creole heritage, the Creole and the Creolos. We can go into that. We can go into that at a later date.
Yeah. But all right, y'all. We ain't gonna hold you. How many hours we been on here? 2 hours?
Yeah, we've been on here 2 hours, and which is fine because we did speak on Juneteenth and the 4th of July, a little bit of history, a little bit of Negro Indian history. So we thank y'all for kicking it with us. It's always fun. It's always fun.
Hold on. Don't forget to show them our merch.
Oh, definitely. I will definitely do that. Gotta make sure y'all check us out on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Periodically, we will have special guests, and sometimes we won't meet y'all on Sundays because we got lives and shit to do. Sometimes we got celebrations. It's the summer, so y'all just stay tuned for the different announcements. But we appreciate everybody. We really do. Let me pull up the.
You about to show them the merch?
Nah, I'm not. Let me pull it up. So yes, the link is on all our social media platforms. If y'all do wanna, support, this is our store, so you can see the link. We got stuff commemorating one of our important ceremonies, green corn. We got some merch for that. We got the black and the white. We got that. And then we got the classic design. So even if y'all get a little coffee mug, a tea mug to support us, we appreciate y'all. So our link on all our social media platforms, we have all the links to our YouTube channel, our Instagram, our YouTube channel, and our store to get our merch. We appreciate y'all for y'all support, for coming through. Most definitely. Yep. So we're gonna close out. Once again, Wado Yukoki, Shonobishi, to everybody who tuned in, all our fellow Negro Indians out there. Keep your head up to all the descendants of the unconquered people. We out. Peace.
Peace.